Bismillahi walhamdulillahi assalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah amma ba'd rabbi shrah li sadri wassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers. Today inshallah we will start a new surah. We will start Surah Ar Rad, and we will try to complete the surah. This surah has about 43 ayahs. This lesson for the same reason may be a bit longer, but inshallah our target is to complete this surah today. So let's start. The introduction for this surah, a few quick introductory points. This surah, the name is Ar Rad, means thunder, and basically it's in one of the tafsirs it's also mentioned that this is the name, Ar Rad is the name of the angel who's in charge of the clouds and the movement of the clouds and the thunderstorms and the rain. This surah, this is a small surah, as I mentioned earlier, 43 ayahs. This was revealed right before the migration of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, just like we went through Surah Hud, Surah Yusuf. So these surahs were revealed right before the migration, and this is the time when the persecution and opposition of the enemies of Islam and the disbelievers in Makkah was at its peak, right before the migration of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The main theme and message that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us is about the revelation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala itself, which is the Quran, and that this is the truth, because this was what the disbelievers were opposing, that that Na'udhu Billah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he himself has created it, or he has lost his mind, and they said all sorts of things. However, they were untrue. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself is addressing all these topics in this surah. It is about Tawheed, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one and we should only worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It also covers about Risalah, the prophethood of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as the last prophet, and about resurrection, meaning the day of judgment, in which all of the human beings, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will resurrect them and bring them to life again. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will show us all the evidences as we'll go through this surah inshallah today. And this surah also provides the reasoning to satisfy the mind. So basically it gives logical arguments for us to be believers and for all the people who were opposing the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And it also appeals to the heart to accept the faith. So there's an emotional angle in it as well. This is a beautiful, beautiful recitation and a revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for us. So let's start our study of this beautiful short surah that inshallah we'll try to cover today. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Sorry, I will just hide this one. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Sorry. Yes, this is ayah number 1. Alif Lam Mim Ra. These are huruf muqatta'at, meaning that they are to be these letters. The meaning of these is known to only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself, and maybe he revealed it to the Holy Prophet, but it is not revealed to for the mankind. But this is known to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself. And these letters, they appear at the start of multiple surahs, and they are recited as separate, which is why they're also called huruf muqatta'at. Alif Lam Mim Ra. Tilka ayatul kitab. These are the verses of the book. And ayah, we know multiple meanings, meaning signs. And this is like these are the signs that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given in this book, the holy book of guidance. وَالَّذِي أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ مِنْ رَبِّكَ الْحَقُّ وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. And that which has been revealed to you from your Lord is the truth. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is establishing this fact from the start of the surah in the very first ayah, that everything that has been revealed as part of this book that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the truth from your Lord. وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. However, but most of the mankind do not believe. Now I want you guys to focus on this one, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying this is the truth from your Lord. However, most of the mankind, they do not believe. Who do you think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is referring to? Most of the mankind don't believe. Whatever comes to your mind. Who will give me this answer? Who is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala referring to when he's saying most of the mankind don't believe? Anyone? Anything that comes to your mind? Yes, Taha, go ahead.
Basically, he's describing the non-Muslims, the disbelievers, because back then in Prophet ﷺ's time, the people of Makkah were worshipping idols because their forefathers did it. They never thought that these idols are not there. They never thought that the idols are nothing. They're just plain stone. They were worshipping it because their forefathers did it.
Brilliant answer, Taha. Thank you so much. So, Jazakallahu khairan. Yes, you're right. So, this will believe, because we just said that this surah has been revealed right before the migration, and the persecution and opposition from the disbelievers in Makkah and the mushriks of Makkah was at its peak. So, definitely, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says most of mankind don't believe, at that point in time, the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions were few in number. However, because Quran is for all times and it is true for all times, this also means that we need to ask these questions: that are these only mushriks of Makkah? Are these only the non-Muslims who are all around us? Because when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says most of mankind don't believe, or are these amongst even the Muslims, the so-called Muslims, like the born Muslims? Just because we are born in a Muslim family, we take it for granted that we are believers. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says most of mankind don't believe, he is referring to all of these. The mushriks at that point in time, the non-Muslims even today, as well as some of the Muslims who don't truly believe, and you don't see this in their practice as if they are practicing Muslims. So nobody is a perfect human being, and we cannot say that, okay, this is a perfect Muslim, or this is a Muslim, or this is a non-believer within a Muslim. However, even Muslims today, the point for us is that we have to also strive in order to be a true practicing Muslim. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says most of mankind don't believe, while this is truth, this revelation is truth, it means all of these people. And by the way, this could be also people close to us, which means that we also have a responsibility to take the right message and to say what is right, what is wrong, and the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we are going through together in the Quran for people around us, because we are all from Muslim families, Alhamdulillah, and a lot of the people are families and relatives, they are there. But in terms of practice, or in terms of true Iman from the heart, there could be some gaps that we can do. So, and one of the repercussions that we have discussed multiple times in our previous classes, that most of mankind don't believe, it means also that we cannot follow the majority of people blindly. And we have discussed this multiple times. This is not an argument that all my friends are going to the cinema or a party or a mixed gathering or someplace, so I also need to go. Look at them, they're also Muslims. So, a lot of the kids, they ask their parents and they fight their parents. No, I want to go to this party and everybody is going, or I want to go to this movie and all my friends are going, and cinema. So these things, even if majority of people are doing, we cannot follow them blindly. We have to be sure that we are amongst the few people to be, a truly practicing believer, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself is saying in the Quran that most of the people do not believe. So as an action for us, it is very important that we do not follow majority blindly. I mean, just don't go for democracy every time, that because everyone is doing it, so I can also do it. This is not an argument, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that most of the people do not believe. That means also that we have to be now not amongst the most, but amongst the few. So those few people who are true practicing believers, we have to try to get into them, and we have to always assess what is right, what is wrong before taking any action. Moving forward, Allahu allazi rafa samawati bighairi amadin tarawnaha thumma stawa ala al-arsh. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who raised the heavens without pillars. Again, a logical argument. Look at the beautiful roof, the sky that is on top of us. It has no pillars. Still, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has raised it above the earth, that you see. Then he established his throne, وَسَخَّرَ الشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ, and subjected the sun and the moon with the movements, the way they are moving together in sync, in harmony. Not even a single degree of difference can come, in the daily movements. And when it comes, we start talking about big changes like climate changes and all of these, just because there's a degree of temperature that has increased and all of this. So this is in perfect coordination. The system that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created is in perfect coordination. Kullun yajri li ajalim musamma, and each running for a term appointed in its own revolution. So each of them, the sun and the moon and this entire the system, is working for a running term, and there are a number of hours that we can count, and there are multiple benefits that we get from them. Yudabbirul amra yufassilul ayati la'allakum biliqa'i rabbikum tuqinun. He arranges the matter and then he details the signs so that you may believe with certainty in the meeting with your Lord. So again, on the day of judgment, all of these things that are around us should be a source of Iman and belief for us, that yes, the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who created all of this, we will be meeting them one day. And this should be a source of Iman for us. وَهُوَ الَّذِي مَدَّ الْأَرْضَ وَجَعَلَ فِيهَا رَوَاسِيَ وَأَنْهَارًا. And he is the one who spread the earth and placed in it firm mountains and rivers. So we now know, it is proven by science, that mountains are holding the earth. They are providing this control to the earth and the way it moves and the entire mass that has been created around the earth. Obviously, mountains are a critical part for it. And then there are rivers that are flowing, and all of these have roles to play. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created this entire universe for human beings. وَمِن كُلِّ الثَّمَرَاتِ جَعَلَ فِيهَا زَوْجَيْنِ اثْنَيْنِ يُغْشِي اللَّيْلَ النَّهَارِ. And from all the fruits he made in it two pairs. Everything is in pairs. Everything that we benefit from has pairs, is in pairs, like a pair of two, male, female, day and night, sweet and sour. All of these things, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created it in pairs, and he covers the night with the day, night and day. Again, it's a pair. Inna fi dhalika la ayatin liqawmin yatafakkarun. Indeed, these are the signs surely for the people who ponder, who think, who look around, who do not miss these things, these amazing systems around us. The way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created pairs, out of these pairs, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created multiple other things. Even in the living beings, there are these pairs. There's the concept of male and female, and then the entire generations come out of them, right? And that's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sustains life. So all of these things cannot be created on their own. There has to be a creator. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is highlighting these as signs for people who think and who ponder. وَفِي الْأَرْضِ قِطَعٌ مُتَجَاوِرَاتٌ وَجَنَّاتٌ مِّنْ أَعْنَابٍ وَزَرْعٌ وَنَخِيلٌ سِنْوَانٌ وَغَيْرُ سِنْوَانٍ يُسْقَى بِمَاءٍ وَاحِدٍ. And in the earth are tracks, meaning pathways, neighboring the garden. So there are gardens, there are fields, and there are paths that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created. Gardens of grapes and grapevines, and crops and date palms, that the trees that grow from a single root. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created multiple plants and there are multiple trees that can grow from a single root, and the trees growing not from the single root, meaning and watered with one water. So this is important. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that there is same soil, same water that goes in. However, different types of plants emerge out. There are plants that emerge from multiple plants from one root, or one plant from one root, and all of them are getting the same water. Still, there is a lot of variety that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created. وَنُفَضِّلُ بَعْضَهَا عَلَى بَعْضٍ فِي الْأُكُلِ. But we cause to exceed some of them over others in the fruit. So there are different benefits. Some of them are better versus others. Sometimes, for example, if you take a very simple example of a fruit, an apple can be big or an apple can be small, or there can be a big banana or a big small banana, or a big sugar cane and a smaller one. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them different energy levels, and they grow at different levels. Plus, with the same water, with the same soil, there are different. So we can look at it in two ways, that either they are bigger or smaller in size, or they are different variety. Everything is coming from the same soil, from the same water. Inna fi dhalika la ayatin liqawmin yaqilun. Again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, indeed, these are the signs surely for a people who use reason. If you look at the past 3 ayahs that we have gone through, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking us to ponder, for people who think, for people who use reason. So we have to use our logic. It's not like we have been asked to believe without any logic. There is a lot of logic if we start to think over these signs from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another important thing that we need to understand is that there is no other miracle needed to believe, because a lot of the times the mushriks of Makkah, they kept on saying to the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, why don't you show us a sign? Why don't you show us a miracle so that we can believe? While Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying clearly in the past 2-3 ayahs, we just saw in the previous 2-3 ayahs, that the signs and miracles of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are all around for people who use reason, who use intellect, and who think. So basically, we don't need any other miracle from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than to believe. And obviously, the biggest miracle of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was this entire revelation, which is the Holy Quran itself, in which all the things that are mentioned relating to science and facts, hundreds of years ago, they have been proven by science. Even the fact that the mountains are holding the earth with their weight, it has been proven by science. And there are multiple other things that we go through. وَإِن تَعْجَبْ فَعَجَبٌ قَوْلُهُمْ أَإِذَا كُنَّا تُرَابًا أَإِنَّا لَفِي خَلْقٍ جَدِيدٍ. And if you are astonished, then astonishing is their saying, when we are dust, will we be indeed be a new creation? So now they ask you that you mean that we will meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again after we die? So you mean that once we put our people in the grave and they turn into dust and they are just mixed in it, you are saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will recreate us and then we will meet him on the day of judgment? So basically Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just showed all the signs, how he created everything, even from the same water and same soil, different fruits and everything. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has all the power and might to raise us back again. So again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is throwing back the question that they are saying after saying all of these things in the previous ayahs, how he creates everything. Ulaika alladhina kafaru bi rabbihim. Those are the ones who have disbelieved in their lords. The fact that they are asking this question, that we will go to our graves, we'll turn into soil and dust, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be able to raise us. How come? So this in itself is disbelief. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying those are the ones who disbelieved in their Lord. وَأُولَٰئِكَ الْأَغْلَالُ فِي أَعْنَاقِهِمْ. And those will have the iron chains around their necks. So they will have those iron chains. وَأُولَٰئِكَ أَصْحَابُ النَّارِ. And those are the companions of the fire. So they will have iron chains around their neck and they will be thrown into hellfire. هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ. And they will abide in it forever. وَيَسْتَعْجِلُونَكَ. And they ask you to hasten بِالسَّيِّئَاتِ قَبَلَ الْحَسَنَةِ. And they ask you to bring the evil before good. So they challenge you. Basically, when the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to tell them that there is a punishment that can come, and he was narrating the stories of all the previous prophets and all the previous nations that we all together went through, how they were punished in this world, and then even in the hereafter they'll be punished. So they used to say, okay, fine, if there is evil, there is punishment, bring it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here is saying, and they ask you to bring in the punishment because they don't believe in it, right? If they would have believed in it, obviously they would not ask for it to come. So the evil before the good. وَقَدْ خَلَتْ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمُ الْمَثُلَاتِ. And from before them, similar punishments have occurred. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding them of everything that we have just went through in the previous couple of surahs, that people have gone through similar punishments. So they should not ask for it. It's better for them that they don't ask for it. وَإِنَّ رَبَّكَ لَذُو مَغْفِرَةٍ لِلنَّاسِ عَلَى ظُلُومِهِمْ. And indeed, your Lord is full of forgiveness for mankind for their wrongdoing. It's still you have time, come back. So even this is being addressed to the mushriks of Makkah. This is being addressed to the non-believers around us today, and even the people who are not practicing Muslims, that indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is full of forgiveness. You can come back, you can repent. So if you're not praying 5 times a day, you're not praying your salah, if you're not praying your zakah, if you're doing some haram things like eating riba or doing zina, come back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is full of forgiveness for mankind for all their wrongdoings. وَإِنَّ رَبَّكَ لَشَدِيدُ الْعِقَابِ. And indeed your Lord is severe in penalty. So before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala holds us accountable, before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala holds us, we better go back to him and ask for forgiveness. وَيَقُولُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَوْلَا أُنزِلَ عَلَيْهِ آيَاتٌ مِّن رَبِّهِ. And say those who disbelieved, why those people who have disbelieved, they ask the Holy Prophet, why there has been no sign sent down to you from his Lord? So why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not sent down any sign for you? Innama anta munzirun wa likulli qawmin had. Only you are a warner, and for every people a guide. So for you, you don't have to give any explanation. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is now comforting the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They are asking you for a miracle. After Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned all these signs of creation and miracles and everything that is there, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, don't worry about them. Your job is just to be a warner and pass on the message, and then eventually they will see who was right. Allahu ya'lamu ma tahmilu kullu untha wa ma taghizul arhamu wa ma tazdad. Again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving a fact. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what carries every female and what falls short the womb and what they exceed. So when a woman is pregnant, when she's about to give birth to a baby, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what's inside. If it's a boy, if it's a girl, if there will be a premature birth, if it will be an on-time birth, if the baby will be healthy, not healthy, what will be the weight, everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that He knows if it will be a healthy birth and if it will fall short of the womb or it will exceed. وَكُلُّ شَيْءٍ عِنْدَهُ بِمِقْدَارٍ. And everything with Him is due with a proportion. Everything is in the right quantity. It's in the right proportion. We can see it in the systems all around us. If we look at the balance that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created in our body, the way it has been designed, the left and the right hands, the legs, the way we walk, and the perfect design of creation, not just of human beings, of animals, of plants, and everything should be a source of belief and Iman for us. Alimul ghaibi wa shahadatil kabirul muta'al. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the knower of the unseen and the most great witness, the highest. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the knower of the unseen and the witness. So everything that is out there and everything that is hidden, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows all, and even knows what we hide inside our chest and what we are thinking and what we have truly in our hearts. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is again reminding them. All of this address is directly being addressed by the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to the mushriks of Makkah who were really opposing them. This is right before migration, all of these things, and they are also valid for us today as well. Sawa'un minkum man asarra al-qawla wa man jahara bihi wa man huwa mustakhfim bil-layli wa saribum bin-nahar. It is the same to him of you, one who conceals the speech or the one who publicizes it. It is equal for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because He knows anything we say or anything we hide. And the one who is hidden by the night or goes freely by the day. So whatever you do whatever you do in the darkness of the night, maybe the other people don't know. Or whatever you do alone in your own room, maybe other people outside don't know. But who knows? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows everything that is happening in this earth and that is happening all around us. Regardless of it is done in the night, in the day, it is hidden, or it appears to all of the people. Lahu mu'aqibatum min bayna yadayhi wa min khalfihi yahfazunahu min amrillah. For Him are angels that are before and after and behind Him who guard Him by the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is for human beings. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed angels for the protection of people. Inna Allah la yughayru ma biqawmin hatta yughayru ma bi anfusihim. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. We cannot leave everything to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, otherwise there will be no test. Why have we been sent down in this earth and world is because it is a test. We have to ourselves strive to be good. We have to ourselves strive to be better. We cannot just say, oh, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted, then I would have been a much better Muslim. I would do everything that is halal and I would refrain from haram. No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, this is your test. This is why, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't change the condition of people until they change themselves. So we see a lot of cruelty and oppression even today in our societies, in our countries, in different countries. We see that, people are being oppressed and there is a lot of corruption and everything. Until and unless they ask for forgiveness themselves, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not change their condition, because this is the whole test. This is the whole setup in this world that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has done. The one who, whatever we seek, we strive for, we get. We will seek goodness, we strive for goodness, we'll get goodness. If we continue on the wrong path, corruption, bad deeds, haram, then we will pursue in that path and we will face hellfire. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all from hellfire. وَإِذَا أَرَادَ اللَّهُ بِقَوْمٍ سُوءًا فَلَا مَرَدَّ لَهُ وَمَا لَهُم مِّن دُونِهِ مِن وَالٍ. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills for a people misfortune, then there is no turning away of it. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decides to punish us based on our actions or based on our inaction, that we are not taking an action that we should, then once Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala holds us with a punishment, then there is no turning away from it. No one else can save us from the wrath and fury of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمَا لَهُم مِّن دُونِهِ مِن وَالٍ. And for them, there is no other protector besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So once he has decided to punish, then it doesn't, no one else has the power to change. Now, I just wanted to ask you guys a question. I just want to check if everybody is focusing and awake and everything. Let's say you guys want to learn skateboarding, you know, skating on the skateboard. Are you all with me? I have a question.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Excellent. Let's say there's a young boy and he wants to learn skateboarding. He wants to learn how to do skates, and previously he doesn't have any experience. So do you think that you can learn, or if that boy can learn by just saying that I wish I could skate without even putting in an effort? So if he just thinks in his mind, okay, I want to learn skateboarding, but if he doesn't do anything about it, then can he really learn and master skateboarding? What do you guys think? Yes, Taha, go ahead.
You cannot, you have to put faith into something if you really want to succeed, because I also do something, and I also do something like, for example, cubing. I think a lot of people know about that. I can't just start saying, you know, I wish I'm very fast at do cubing. No, you'll have to work hard if you want to be the best.
Okay. Jazakallah for your answer, and thank you, Hamiz. I just read your response on the chat. Yes, you're right. Yes, Shehbaz, you have your hand raised.
Sir, if you want to learn anything, obviously, like this links perfectly. So if you just say, if you want to go to Jannah, for example, you set a goal for yourself. So your goal is that you want to accomplish learning skateboarding. So obviously you can't just wish that, like, it's not magic or anything. You have to put the effort. Obviously Allah knows where you will go, if you will go to Jannah or Jahannam, but Allah obviously can just make you learn skateboarding, but you obviously have to put your own effort.
Excellent. Jazakallahu khairan. Jazakumullahu khairan to all of you guys. Ahmed, Taha, Hamiz, all of you are right. So you cannot just wish for anything in this world and say, okay, fine, I want to learn this skill, but yeah, I mean, why doesn't it happen to me? Why doesn't someone, why doesn't it naturally occur to me? So in order to learn skateboarding, you have to start moving. You have to get a skateboard. Maybe you have to watch, you will go and watch a few videos, and then, you will practice. You will fall a few times. You will get up again, and then you will try again. You may hire even a coach or a friend who already knows. So you will do something about it. And this is, the point is that you have to take the initiative. You have to take the first few steps, because it cannot happen on its own, like all of you guys said. And this is true for everything in this world. By the way, if you want to become a doctor, if you want to be a pilot, if you want to start your own business, whatever you want to do, for everything in this world, you have to take the first steps yourself. I mean, any ability, any skill, any knowledge. So when it comes to religion, when it comes to Islam, this is also true. We have to take the first steps. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying the same thing in the previous ayah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't change the condition of a people, of a nation, of an individual, unless they try to change what is there in themselves. This is so logical. I told you, in this surah, we will see a lot of logical arguments from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In terms of miracles, in terms of science, he mentioned, look at all the miracles, how this universe has been created. All of these are signs for you to believe. Here, there is a logical argument that if you want to be a true Muslim and you want to pass this test of life, then you have to take the first steps. You have to first learn, understand, what am I supposed to do, what am I supposed not to do, and then practice it, put it in your life. It may not be easy. Just like on skateboarding, it's not easy. You will keep on falling. So similarly, when you start practicing Islam, you may have to leave riba, interest. Maybe you have a mortgage in your house. You have to let go of it. Whatever non-Islamic things you were doing, you have to let go. And sometimes this brings in a bit difficulty in this life, and this is part of the test. So you cannot just say, no, it's very tough being a Muslim. I cannot be a Muslim. It's very tough. It's like, so just like learning skateboard, it can get difficult, or anything that you learn, any skill that you learn, initially it can be difficult, but then Allah SWT makes it easy for us. Same, and even more when you're trying to be a better Muslim, when you're trying to practically implement Islam, you have to make sure that you're taking the first step. First of all, you cannot leave it to wish I was a better Muslim. And by the way, if Allah SWT wanted, I would have been a better person. And then you leave, and then you start playing the games and watch movies and whatever, and a dirty picture to your friend WhatsApp, and just received it, and a giggle, I wish I was a better Muslim. No, it doesn't happen this way, guys. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is clearly saying He doesn't change the condition of people until and unless they themselves try to change. As individuals, as collectively as people, as societies, as a nation, Muslims have to put in the first steps. And not just Muslims, all human beings, to be honest. I mean, we have to take the first step. So I hope this point and logic that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is explaining to us is clear. هو الذي يريكم البرق خوفا وطمعا وينشئ سحاب الثقال. He is the one who shows you the lightning. And when the clouds are, when the clouds gather before rain, there is lightning and there is thunder. And there is a fear and a hope, and He brings up the clouds that are heavy. So there's a hope of getting the rain, because rain is really precious in those times. Remember, we are talking about the deserts of Arabia, and even today as well, all of us, in order to survive, water is a basic necessity. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is explaining this in another example. Just like when clouds gather, lightning happens, you are fearful, but you are still hopeful. There is a mixed feeling that comes with it, because you really want the rain, yet it fears you. But you overcome this, and eventually you get the blessings of rain and you benefit from it. Just like this, we have to overcome and take the initial steps and face the difficulty and be better Muslims. So another example Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sharing with us, where there is fear, there is lightning, there is thunder. However, it is also, we are hopeful, and eventually the clouds they come in and they bring in rain, and there is prosperity, there is blessing, there is a flourishing of the fruits and vegetables and vegetation and everything. وَيُصَبِّحُ الرَّعْدُ بِحَمْدِهِ وَالْمَلَائِكَةُ مِنْ خِيفَتِهِ. And this is where the meaning of this surah, the name Surah Ar Rad, comes from here. وَيُصَبِّحُ الرَّعْدُ, and glorifies the thunder with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's praise, and the angels for the fear of Him. So all the angels, including, as I mentioned to you, here is the explanation that is coming from Tafsir Al-Qurtubi, the small text that you guys see at the bottom. Ar Rad, it is said that he is the angel in charge of clouds, and he drives them as ordered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he glorifies his praises as well. All the angels we know, they are continuously glorifying the praise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is confirming that, and glorifies the thunder, Ar Rad, or the angel who is designated to monitor the clouds, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's praise, and the angels for fear of Him. وَيُرْسِلُ السَّوَائِقَ فَيُصِيبُ بِهَا مَن يَشَاءُ وَهُمْ يُجَادِلُونَ فِي اللَّهِ. And He sends the thunderbolts and strikes with it whom He wills, yet they dispute about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is controlling all of this, the thunders and the way the lightning strikes sometimes. All of this is being controlled, yet they are disputing about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَهُوَ شَدِيدُ الْمِحَالِ, and He is almighty in strength. He is the most powerful. لَهُ دَعْوَةُ الْحَقِّ, to Him is supplication of the truth. So, the praise, the worship that we do, and everything associated with the truth, every narration that is related to truth is to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَالَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ مِنْ دُونِهِ لَا يَسْتَجِيبُونَ لَهُمْ بِشَيْءٍ إِلَّا كَبَاسِطِ كَفَّيْهِ إِلَى الْمَاءِ لِيَبْلُغَ fahu wama huwa bibalighi. And those whom they invoke besides him, meaning other the idols and the other gods that they worship, they do not respond to them with a thing except like the one who stretches his hand towards water to reach his mouth, but he cannot reach it. So it's just like, you want to stretch his hand in order to reach, I mean, the water reaches its mouth. So this is just an explanation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us, that you cannot reach out to your other false gods who cannot just help you. So if there is water in front of you and you want to reach out your hand and you want to drink it, it cannot come to you. This is a futile effort. This is an effort that you're making that will not deliver what you want. You have to get close probably, and you have to lift the water with your hand, or you have to carry it, or you have to drink it like this. You cannot just reach out the hand and say, I want water, and and it will come to your mouth. So the point is, it's as futile or as useless that you reach out to the water hand and say the water can come to your mouth, just similarly evoking to other gods or asking anyone else for help other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمَا دُعَاءُ الْكَافِرِينَ إِلَّا فِي ضَلَالٍ. And not as the supplication of the disbelievers, but in error. Anything that they do, any worship that they do other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whatever they ask, it is all full of error, it is wrongdoing, it will not help them in any way. وَلِلَّهِ يَسْجُدُ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَفِي مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ طَوْعًا وَكَرْهًا وَظِلَالُهُمْ بِالْغُدُوِّ وَالْأَصَالِ. And to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prostrates is in whoever in the heavens and the earth, willingly or unwillingly, and so do their shadows in the mornings and in the afternoon. Everything is prostrating to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even the way our shadow falls on the earth, it's like it is prostrating or doing sujood or sajda in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is ayat al-sajda, meaning that whenever such ayah comes, we should all do one sajda, one prostration. We can do it right after the class, or some of you guys can also do it right now if you believe. So this is an ayat al-sajda where you do the sajda, one sajda only. Moving forward. Qul man rabbus samawati wal ard. Say, who is the Lord of the heavens and the earth? Qul Allah. Say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Again, this is addressed to the mushriks and the disbelievers of Makkah, and to all of us even today. Qul Allah. Say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Lord of the heavens and the earth. Qul afattakhaztum min dunihi awliya'a la yamlikuna li anfusihim nafa'an wala zarra. Say, have you taken from besides him any protectors? No, they have no powers for themselves to benefit or to do any harm. So you are trying to evoke other gods who cannot even help them, who cannot even do anything on their own. So how can they even help you? They do not have any power. Again, this is true for the gods of those times, the ones that were created with stones, and even some gods that we create in our mind. My boss will give me salary or my raise, my company, my this, I will get this from. Yes, they can be. They are not the source, but they can be the agents. So via them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give you things. This is a very important concept that we have discussed when we discussed the concept of shirk multiple times, and even in the early lessons, and there are many short videos that we have. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only source of any benefit, any provision that you will get. We cannot rely on anyone else. We cannot think them of as if they are the source. They are the one who are controlling. They are the one they are protecting. No, don't give any human being or anyone the attribute that is only true for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, you can still ask, you can use your network, you can use people, but they are only the agents. The source, the primary, the start is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's the one who created everyone and everything. Qul hal yastawil a'ma wal basir. Say, is it equal, the blind and the guy who's seeing? They cannot be equal. So a person who is blind and a person who has vision and he's seeing, both of them are not equal. So to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, any person who cannot understand all of this is like a blind person. So while you're listening to this, you're hearing this, and if you don't understand this concept, then you are as good as a person who didn't even hear. So a blind and a seeing person cannot be the same. Am hal tastawiz zulumatu wan nur, or is it equal, the darkness and the light? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying this is so logical, either black or white. Either you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or you don't. There is no middle way around it. So darkness is also not equal to the light. These are two completely different things. Am ja'alu lillahi shuraka'a khalaqu كخلقه فتشابه الخلق عليهم. Or they attribute to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala partners who created like his creation, so they seemed alike the creation to them. They cannot attribute any partner to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All this creation is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And by the way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is clearly saying that this is like darkness and night, this is like blindness and a person who's seeing, because they were trying to mix things and they were trying to propose some solutions. The mushriks of Makkah, they were, and the chiefs of their chiefs were trying to propose some solutions. Okay, you know, let go of a few points and please accept these few points from us. So 2 points from you and 2 points from us. Okay, we will do this, we will not do that, we'll do that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying it is clearly black or white. It's like these two things cannot be the same. What they're saying is nothing can be accepted. They have to accept Islam in its entirety. You cannot say that, so I'm still making a house, I need to still pay off this mortgage, so I will continue to be invested in interest or invested in riba or invested in these concepts that are against Islam. No, you are either a true believer or you are not. So this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying clearly. These two things cannot be equal. قُلِ اللَّهُ خَالِقُ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ وَهُوَ الْوَاحِدُ الْقَهَّارُ. And say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator of all things, and he is the one who cannot be stopped. He is the one who has power and control over everything. No one can resist him. No one can go against him. Not even a single, because all of us are creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is it even possible that a creation can go against the creator? It's not possible. There is no other protector than the creator themselves. Anzala minas sama'i ma'an fasalat أودية بقدرها فاحتمل السيل زبدر رابية. He sends down from the sky the water and flows through the valleys according to their measure and carries the torrent of foam that is rising. Now, if you look at the river, and when the water is flowing, there is a foam above the river, the water. وَمِمَّا يُوقِدُونَ عَلَيْهِ فِي النَّارِ فِي نَارِ ابْتِغَاءَ حِلْيَةٍ أَوْ مَتَاعٍ zabadum mislu. And from what they heat on it on the fire in order to make the ornaments, when they are making the ornaments of iron or utensils, a foam appears like it. So now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is comparing two examples. When a river flows down the mountains, there is a foam on top and there is real water. So if you touch the foam, it will just, vanish and go away, while the water will be below. Similarly, when they're creating utensils out of iron and all, and when it is heated, there is a foamy sort of a thing that comes up, it goes away, and then the real iron and the solid things remains behind. كَذَلِكَ يَضْرِبُ اللَّهُ الْحَقَّ وَالْبَاطِلِ. Thus sets for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the truth and the falsehood. Just like you can separate the foam from water, and foam gives nothing, it achieves nothing, real water is below it. Similarly, when you're heating iron and creating those ornaments, when that heated foam that goes away, that benefits nothing. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala separates the truth and falsehood. This is so easy for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to do this, make this separation, just like we can make the visual separation in front of us when such things, the foams are being separated from water, or that foam is being separated from iron when it is getting heated. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just explaining this is how the truth and the falsehood will be separated so easy for him. فَأَمَّا زَبَدُ فَيَذْهَبُ جُفَاءً. For those, just a second. Then as for the foam, it passes away as scum. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just explaining, just like in these two examples that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave, foam in both cases, it just passes away and it has no value. وَأَمَّا مَا يَنْفَعُ النَّاسَ فَيَمْكُسُ فِي الْأَرْضِ. And as for what benefits the mankind remains in the earth. كَذَلِكَ يَضْرِبُ اللَّهُ الْأَمْثَالِ. Thus Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sets forth these examples. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will separate the truth from falsehood. Just like the foam is getting away, it is of no benefit, and the real benefit remains down, either in the form of water or in the form of iron, both the examples that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shared with us. لِلَّذِينَ اسْتَجَابُوا لِرَبِّهُمُ الْحُسْنَى. For those who responded to their Lord is the bliss. These are the people who will benefit. وَالَّذِينَ لَمْ يَسْتَجِيبُوا لَهُ لَوْ أَنَّ لَهُمْ مَا فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا وَمِثْلَهُ مَعَهُ ihtadaw bih. For those who responded to their Lord, is happiness is for them, and for those who did not respond to him, that is whatever it is in the earth and the like of it with it, and surely they would offer ransom with it. So the truly happy people are those who have responded to the message of their Lord in a positive way. And those who do not respond to him, whatever, let's say, because when people don't respond to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's message, they want to benefit from this world. They want all the benefits of this. The chiefs of Makkah again were against the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam because they had some their own vested interest. They wanted to achieve things. They wanted to oppress people, and they wanted to benefit from the trade of having multiple gods and everything else. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying everything that they had in this world, all the wealth, all the power, or everything, and what is also in the earth, the entire earth combined, if they would like to offer ransom in order to get away on the day of judgment, it will not be accepted. Ulaika lahum su'ul hisab. Those, for them, is a terrible reckoning. It will not help them at all. Wama wahum jahannam, and their abode is hellfire. Wabitsal mihad, it is a very a dreadful resting place for anyone to have. Somebody is just asking me on chat which surah is this. This is Surah Ar Rad that we have just started. Moving forward, أَفَمَنْ يَعْلَمُ أَنَّمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ مِنْ رَبِّكَ الْحَقُّ كَمَنْ هُوَ أَعْمَى. Then he is then is he who knows that which has been revealed to you from your Lord is the truth, like the one who is blind. So the person who believes in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and he says, yes, this is the truth from my Lord, he cannot be same as the person who's blind after seeing all of these revelations, this Holy Quran in front of them. The Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the one, the last prophet who is delivering this message to them. Still they are unable to see, so this means they are blind. Innama yatazakkaru ulul albab. Only the men who are of understanding, the people of sound mind, the logical people, they will only pay heed to it. They will only get interested in it. They are the ones who will implement it on their lives because they will understand. The people who think, the people who use their mind, the people who apply logic are the ones who will take interest in it and who will give attention the right way it has to be and practically implement Islam on their lives. Alladhina yufuna bi ahdillahi wala yanquduna al-misaq. Now we will go through the definition of believers. There are almost 5-6 points in the upcoming 2-3 ayahs that we will try to list down. Those who fulfill the covenant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the promise that they have made with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they do not break the contract, meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us what is right, what is wrong. Do this, these are the halal things, these are the haram things. This is like a contract when you enter Islam. It's not easy being a Muslim in the sense that you have to follow certain things. If you're a non-believer, if you don't believe in any of the religions, then you just go out there and live your life, whichever way you want. However, once you enter into Islam, it's like a promise that you're making, not to anyone else, but to your own self. I am a Muslim. And which is why we said that when most of the mankind are not believers, it includes also people from the Muslim families. Because if you're not a conscious Muslim, not a believing, practicing Muslim, then you are also breaking the covenant, you're also breaking the promise. So the believers are those who fulfill their covenant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they do not break the contract, meaning they do not do a haram thing. It's not like, yeah, there is benefit in it, so let me just take riba, let me take the interest and whatever it is, because it is beneficial for me. Though they keep the contract and they live their lives according to this contract. So this is the first part of the definition. Who are successful believers? Those who fulfill the promise and don't break contract. Now in the other ayahs, other things will come and we will keep listing them down. وَالَّذِينَ يَصِلُونَ مَا أَمَرَ اللَّهُ بِهِ أَن يُؤْصَلَ وَيَخْشَوْنَ رَبَّهُمْ وَيَخَافُونَ سُوءَ الْحِسَابِ. And those who join what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded, what has been commanded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to be joined and fear their Lord and are afraid of the evil hisab, accountability. So basically they stay together. They stay together with they form relationships the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said. They take care of their relatives. So those who join based on the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and they fear their Lord, and they are afraid of that they will be asked on the day of judgment, and their accountability will be bad. So, if they have not done the right things, and all the wrong things and the haram things that you're doing or evil things that you're doing is getting recorded for you or for us, then this is something to be fearful of, because this is a very bad report. It's like a report card in school. If you have all the bad grades, you are fearful of it. You don't even want to go on the day of result to the school. You don't want it to be passed on to your parents or someone to get to know about how bad you have done. So similarly, if you want to really shine on the day, on the result day, then you will have good deeds, good grades, A stars that you are proud of. So these are the people basically who have been who form these relations with their relatives, and who fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that they go in with a bad record or an evil account on the day of judgment. So number one from the previous ayah was fulfill the promise and they don't break the contract. They are good to their relatives and they don't sever bond of kinship, meaning they don't break unnecessarily. They do not break from their relatives, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked us to have these bonds and to be good to our relatives. And they fear their Lord and dread the terrible reckoning, meaning they dread the terrible outcome on the day of judgment or accountability. So they want a good report card. They really fear about the bad report card. Let's continue to list down. Next ayah. وَالَّذِينَ صَبَرُوا ابْتِغَاءَ وَجْهِ رَبِّهِمْ وَأَقَامُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَأَنْفَقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ. And those are patient. These are the people with sabr. And we read this even in the previous in Surah Yusuf. We learned about the sabr of Yaqub alayhi salam, who was the father of Yusuf alayhi salam, how he was patient. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is again listing down the same thing. And those who are patient, seeking the face of their Lord, seeking meeting their Lord, and establish the prayer and spend from what we have provided them. This is a very important point. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking us for charity, for zakat, for sadaqat. But the fact is, all of this has been given to us. The entire, everything that we have, any wealth that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking us to spend, has been given to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the first place. So when you have this mindset, when do people do not give? When do people do not give charity? When they want to hold on to it. This is mine. It's my wealth. It's my, it's my possession, and I will keep it. But what they forget is the reality that once they die, everything else, they cannot carry anything to their grave. So the important thing to understand is, whatever we have, any wealth we have, any money we have, it is given to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a short period to test us. Obviously, you can utilize it for your own needs and provisions for your family and everything, but you have to help others and give out as well. So those are the ones who establish the prayer and spend from what we have provided them, sirran wa alaniya, secretly and publicly. Secretly, not to show off, I'm the one who's giving charity, taking a selfie while giving someone, so this is not right. We should do it secretly. And publicly, not to think that so other people will think I'm such a good person. No, publicly to inspire others, to encourage others. This should be the motivation. So even when you are declaring something or saying something, okay, I commit to this good cause and there are other people, your motivation should be to inspire others. The motivation should not be that they will think that I'm such a good person. Okay, so secretly and publicly. وَيَدْرَعُونَ بِالْحَسَنَةِ السَّيِّئَةِ أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ عُقْبَى الدَّارِ. Secretly and publicly, and they repel with the good the evil. Those for them is the final attainment of the home, which is the blessed place of Jannah. So they repel evil with the good, meaning they try to oppose an evil thing or anything that you see happening around you that is wrong and evil with a good thing. They replace evil with good. So again, the list continues. Fulfill the promise and don't break the contract. This was in the ayah 1 and 2, one ayahs before. Good to their relatives and don't sever bond of kinship. Fear their Lord and dread the terrible reckoning. And now in this previous ayah we just went through, they remain patient, seeking provision from their Lord, meaning they ask for everything from their Lord patiently. Any wish that you have in this world, it can be related to this world or hereafter, you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You put your problems in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala while praying. Perform the salat and give charity from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given them. And they repel or reject evil with good. They replace evil things with good things. When they see something evil happening in front of them, they say it in a good way. Try to turn that situation in a good way. Even if you're giving advice to someone, You have to give it cautiously, so that, because sometimes some people just say, stop doing that or you'll go to hellfire, or you'll go to, this is not the way. I mean, there is a polite way where you can inspire others to leave their any bad habits that they're doing. So this is the full list of successful believers that we need to keep in mind moving forward. Jannatu adanin yadkhulunaha wa man salaha min abaihim wa azwajihim wa zurriyatihim wal malaikatu yadkhuluna alayhim min kulli bab. So they will enter then the gardens of the heaven, and whoever were righteous among their fathers and their spouses and their offsprings, and the angels will enter upon them from every gate. So they will now enter in a group, all of the good people, all of the believers, and when they're entering through different gates of paradise or Jannah or heaven, then the angels will be greeting them and they'll be saying, Salamun alaikum bima sabartum فَنِعْمَ عُقْبَى الدَّارِ. Peace be upon you for what you patiently endured, and excellent is the final attainment of the home that you have now entered. This is the best thing that could have happened to you. Now, today I had planned to cover the 43 ayahs. However, we are almost over time, and I think it will take us a longer time. So I would break this class here, and I will move to quickly the actions that we have gone through so far. And inshallah, we will complete this surah next time. There are about 20 ayahs still left. So I think it's better that we do it next time. Very quickly, the actions that we went through today's class. Number one, you have to be amongst the few to be a true practicing believer. Because Allah SWT mentioned it in the first ayah of this surah, Surah Ar Rad, that most of the mankind don't believe. So this also means the action for us is we cannot follow people blindly. There is no such thing as democracy that is always right. No, it is incorrect. So basically, we cannot follow people, majority of people blindly. We have to put our filter and understand so that we are amongst the few people who are truly practicing believers. This is a very, very important action, because a lot of the times we think and we say, and shaitan whispers, look at all of them, they're having so much fun, look at all your friends, and look at this. And then we start fighting sometimes with our parents or someone else that, we also want to go, my entire class is going, all my friends are going, all of this. No, this is not an argument. This is not an argument in Islam, because Allah SWT is saying most of mankind don't believe. This was true for the mushriks of Makkah and all the people in Makkah who were opposing the Holy Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and his companions before migration, when there were so few of them. And majority of them were not following, and majority of them were mushriks. So which is why the Holy Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and his companions had to migrate to Medina. So they were a few. Similarly, this is true to us today. We are the true practicing believers are few, which is why we should pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us amongst the few, and we should not let shaitan whisper things to us, because majority of people are doing this all around us, because everything, whatever is happening around us, that this is not a justification in Islam. The second action, there is no other miracle needed for us to believe. The time to believe, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala consequently said in multiple ayahs, those people who think, those people who use logic, those people who use their mind, they will see all the signs around that are around us, and they will pass the test. They will start believing. This is the test. Believe in the unseen. What is the unseen? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself, and then the angels and the books. And obviously, we were not even at that. For us, even the Holy Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is sort of unseen, because we weren't present at that time. However, obviously, we have all the learnings and everything from him. So, believing in all of this, today for us, the source that gives us this let's say Iman, or source of belief or power for us, is all the signs that are around us. The Holy Quran itself as the book that is highlighting to us that look at all the signs and the systems that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created. This has to be created by a perfect creator who is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there was no other miracle or sign that was needed by the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because those people used to ask, why didn't you get a miracle like the other prophets in the past? So, but this was his miracle, the Holy Quran itself, and the fact that all the signs that are all around us should make us believe that there is a perfect creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The other action that we went through was that we have to take the first steps to be a better Muslim. to improve any situation. Even we discussed about different skills. If you want to earn a new skill, or practice anything new, it's not like we wish for it and it happens. We took the example of learning skateboarding. It cannot be like you don't know how to do skateboards, and you just imagine and start thinking, I want to learn them, and you will learn. No, I mean, you will have to take the first lessons. First of all, you'll have to buy a skateboard, you'll have to see some practice videos, maybe you'll have to hire a coach or a friend who already knows. You will take certain steps, and then you will strive hard. And then initially it will be difficult. You will overcome that difficulty, and that's how you will become a champion of skateboarding, or a guy who rides it easily. Similarly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't change the condition of people or situation of people until they change what is there in themselves, until they take the first steps. So as individuals, as nations, we discuss, we see a lot of corruption, and we say, the entire nation and the country is in a tough situation. However, people have to change. They have to ask for forgiveness. Individuals have to change. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, that until the people start making changes among themselves, within themselves, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't change the condition of people. So, you have to take the initiative. And this is what is the entire test of this world is all about. Finally, the fourth one, we just went through the definition of successful believers. We should strive to be among successful believers who will enter the gardens of heaven. And the definition that we got in the ayah, from ayah number 21, 22 until 23, 24 was, these are the people who are the believers. These are the people who fulfill the promise and they don't break their contract with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Which means that whatever we have been asked to do, we do, which are the fundamental pillars of Islam, and everything that we have been asked to do, the halal things, and we refrain from everything that we have been asked not to do, which are all the haram things and everything that we have been. This is the contract, and this is our test of life. So they don't break the contract with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be believing, truly practicing Muslims. Then they are good to their relatives, and they don't sever bond of kinship. So there are certain relatives that we have been asked to keep the bonds with. We have to stay close to them. We have to say hello, hi, call them sometimes, even regardless of how busy we are. We have to keep those relationships and those bonds. They fear their Lord and dread the terrible reckoning. They fear the Lord and they really dread, and they are afraid of what will be the result on the day of judgment. They're always conscious about it. What is going in my scorecard? Am I going for the A stars on the day of judgment, or am I going for an F? They're always conscious, and they're really afraid of the F, because F means the hellfire, and that is not an option. Imagine putting a flame on your hand, just a burning candle or something, or a hot stove, or even a hot bread we cannot break. Imagine going to the hellfire. It's not an option. It is not at all an option. So they always fear this fact that they may get an F on the day of judgment, and which is why they start taking actions now in their lives while they have time and while they are alive. They remain patient, seeking provision from their Lord. So when the things are tight, they remain patient. They always have sabr, and they continue to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ease this situation, maybe provide me with rizq, maybe provide me with a job. If there is whatever tough situation there is, they remain patient, because they never lose faith and hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they ask everything from their Lord. And then they perform the salat and give charity from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already given them. And finally, they repel and reject evil with good. They oppose evil with good, and they replace the evil things in their life with good things in their life. And when they see evil things happening in front of them, they try to stop them in the good and the most possible, in the best possible manner, and they try to replace evil with good. So this is the lesson. Today we weren't able to complete until ayah number 43. Inshallah, there are about 20 ayahs left. We will try to cover them in the next class. I think it was a challenging task that I took, but it's okay. We will complete, inshallah, this surah in the next class. Are there any comments, anything from your side before we close? Okay. So subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Inshallah, I will see you guys next week, same time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.